Hello, my name is Mike Lembke. I'm a principal at Intuitive, and this is my career path story. One of the defining features of my career and my personal life has always been my willingness to step outside of my comfort zone and take on new challenges. I'm a firm believer that when you step outside of your comfort zone, you really test yourself and you create possibilities for new opportunities. I grew up in Toronto and I attended Ryerson University. Initially, my intention was to become an architect. Within my second year of schooling, everything was going well, but my professors came to me and they mentioned that I appeared to have an affinity more to the problem solving and technical side of building design, and so they were steering me towards the building science wing of my program. To be honest, I wasn't all that familiar with building science at that point, certainly not from a point of view of a practical career. So it was a risk to essentially change plans midway through my degree, but in the end it was a risk worth taking because it's the right step for my career. In terms of stepping out of my comfort zone, one of the common threads through my career has turned out to be relocating to help grow the businesses that I've worked for. In the 20 years of my career now, I've lived in 4 different cities. I've relocated 3 times since leaving Toronto. And each time, the relocation was for a slightly different reason, but always a benefit to my career and my personal side as well. When I graduated university, I initially worked for about 8 years in Toronto, and that's really where I got my foundational technical experience. I worked for some great mentors, I had some great coworkers, and I learned a lot about building science, and I was exposed to a wide range of building envelope type projects, and created a great base for me to expand from. Eventually, one of my managers in Toronto approached me and asked if I was interested and willing to move to Calgary. We had recently started a new office there. We had structural engineering team on the ground, but we didn't have building envelopes, so the idea was that I would start the building envelope group. This was a pretty scary and daunting offer initially. Up until that point, my career had been really focused on project delivery. Of course, there had been some mentoring of junior and intermediate staff, but it was really focused on project delivery. And so this new role would throw me into things like responsibility for business development and growing a team, hiring people, as well as even strategic plans for the Calgary office. And so although this was nothing I'd been involved with directly before that, it was clearly an opportunity that was worth taking, or a risk worth taking. Of course, with relocating, there's also the personal side, and so there's conversations that go on at home, and my wife was very interested also in moving to Calgary, and although it was a benefit to my career, it's also a benefit to my personal life as well. I had grown up in Southern Ontario, hadn't really adventured through Western Canada much, and so the opportunity to live in another great city, in Calgary, another great Canadian city, and the opportunity to explore Alberta was something that was very interesting to me. Obviously, Alberta offers a lot of things that I wasn't exposed to in Ontario, like general prairie life, but also the Rocky Mountains, skiing in the mountains, and of course the Calgary Stampede. My next big opportunity to step outside my comfort zone came through a project this time. We were invited by a client in the UK to bid on a high-profile commercial office building in central London. And one of the requirements was that we would have facade people on the ground, and at that time the firm didn't have facade people on the ground. So we actually put it in the proposal that I would relocate to London if we were successful on the project. There's always differences between cities in terms of how projects are delivered, the approach to the projects, and the clients, of course, and the collaborators. I noticed that within Canada, but obviously moving to the UK, things were even that much more different. And so it was a great learning experience for me, seeing how things are delivered in the UK. And it was also a great opportunity to, again, test what I had learned through my years and see how well I can adapt. I think that stepping outside my comfort zone and really putting my skills to task has been great. As well, I've had the opportunity to develop a countless number of great relationships in each city that I've lived. I think that stepping outside your comfort zone is a great way to sharpen your skills and check what you've learned. The willingness to open up to new experiences and create opportunities is one of the ways that I have a great affinity with Intuitive and that we fit well together. It's great for our clients, of course, putting the best person on the project, but it's also great for our people to be able to collaborate across all 7 offices. In the end, we're located where we are, where our clients want us to be, but we're also where our employees want to be. And this philosophy is another way that I really fit in well with Intuitive. And in case you're wondering, Vancouver is my final stop. My wife and kids have been along with me for the entire journey, and we've had a great time. But my kids are at an age now where they need some stability for their education, and overall we just love Vancouver and the Vancouver lifestyle. So from this point forward, I think we're going to leave the adventuring to others, and I'm just going to enjoy growing our West Coast office.